So we just showed you free motion quilting, but this is why Bernina is so famous for free motion quilting, because of the BERNINA Stitch Regulator. From the day this came out, it was produced an absolutely flawless foot. It is beautiful. So first thing you're going to notice in here, this optional accessory is available from your local Bernina dealer, is you have a foot with a cable. This, I'm going to show you where you plug in. It also has two other accessory feet for the stitch regulator. The first one is actually an open toe version of it, which I do like to use because then I can see where I'm going. And to take and remove the feet, squeeze the two white buttons on both sides of the foot, and do this while the foot is off. It's really hard to actually do it when the foot is on the machine, and then slide that into place. The other one, the clear one, is actually great if you have high loft batting. You know, the poofy stuff? That will kind of help push it down and saucer it away and keep it out of the area where the needle is making and forming the stitch. So probably not a big use these days, but if you happen to be using something really thick, that will be the key. You've lowered down the feed dogs on the side of the machine, and as soon as you put this on, put it on like a regular foot. Notice that it angles a little bit to the right, so it's not straight to the back, it's angled on, so that should help in getting it. Now, I'm going to stand up or peek around this side. There's a place back behind that you actually plug it in. Once you plug it in, your screen completely changes to a new screen you don't get to unless you have the stitch regulator. You have two modes using the BERNINA Stitch Regulator, BSR 1 and BSR 2. Each will have its own benefits. You also notice there is a straight stitch and a zigzag, and all of our options for information is attention, the ability to set it so if we're using a straight stitch throat plate, which I prefer when I use this machine, and you would just go in here and tell it straight stitch throat plate, and then you don't accidentally choose a zigzag because it won't let you, and not break any needles. So I am going to turn that off because I actually don't have that, and I don't want to be limited later. In each of these modes, I'll show you what is beneficial here, and then your stitch length can be adjusted, which is really nice. If you are first trying this for the very first time, start in mode 2. That is the one that is easiest. As you start, you're going to notice that you have a green light on the front of your machine. The green light is going to be pressed and held until the needle takes a stitch. Once that needle has taken a stitch, do not put your fingers in here, but you're going to notice that the foot has a red optical eye light that is on. Once it sees fabric moving, it will start to stitch. I am not stepping on the foot control at all, so if I pause, it waits for me, and if I move, it stitches. Simple as that. Now this is a very short stitch length, so if you want to stop, you're going to touch the same button. It's the start-stop button on the front of the machine. That's going to sink the needle down, lift the foot up a little bit, and of course turn that optical light off, and keep your finger. Now you can go in and move and rotate or take and clip your threads without being stitched, which is a good thing. Okay, so back to get it to turn on, touch and hold the green light until the needle comes up. I like that little pause because then I don't accidentally just bump it and off it goes. Use the same button to turn it off. Changing your stitch length, if you're doing a bigger pattern, probably want to take it up to 2.5 or closer to 3, and that will allow you to go a little faster and a little further here. But think of bigger stitches. Don't try to do little tiny areas because you're going to get really pointed edges if you're trying to go curvies here. All right. Now, I'm going to go really fast on purpose here. Did you see? Oh, I even heard because we have the bell on. The machine actually told me, hey, I can't go that fast. And it indicated by this light turning red and an audible sound that is noted to be on. You can turn it off if you don't want it to beep. But it is good to have on as you're practicing and kind of figuring out where your maximum movement for this particular stitch length is. If you left the stitch length on its default setting of 2, get that back to 2, you'll notice that your stitches are going to go faster, so you're going to max out sooner. So if you're a really fast machine quilter, well, crank up your stitch length so the machine isn't beeping at you all the time. Okay, so mode 2 is with the button on and off at each time you move it. Now, if you want to lock your stitches in mode 2, that's what the security function will do. Go ahead and touch it, and when you turn it on, without me doing anything, it's going to start with the stitches going up and down and locking, and then in one place, and then when I'm done, I can touch the security button again. It will lock and then turn off. So if you touch it while it's on, it will lock it and then finish because it thinks you're done, which that's why you would have pushed it in the first place. And then just pull the fabric out and away you go. All right, now on to BSR mode 1. 1 is going to be used with the foot control. Here's the thing. This will also take just a little bit of practice. The foot control is now only red light on or red light off. So if I push my foot control down, nothing's going to happen other than the needle going up and down and the light is on. If I don't move my fabric, it will still keep going up and down. As soon as I move my fabric, it will start to regulate the stitches. If I stop moving it, it does needles up and down, forming that locking stitch. So I didn't have to go to the screen, and you'll notice that the security function is no longer an option. When I'm done, just use the cutter and cut it off. Now it does not matter how firm, how far down you push that foot control, that does not regulate speed. All it does is turn the red light on the foot, and when you're ready to stop, just lift your foot off the foot control. What this mode does is it gives you more control, meaning your hands are always on the fabric. Now people always ask me, well, which one do I use? Well, each project will guide you to what is going to be easier for you. I have had projects where I just need to do some quick overall quilting and I'm thinking about something else. I am going to use mode 2, the one where you just touch the button on and you just go until you need to stop it and then rearrange the fabric. That's really nice because all your muscles below your waist are at rest. They're not pushing on anything. It's just actually quite relaxing to do that type of free motion quilting. If I'm doing something that's very intricate and I have a lot of starts and stops, I'm probably going to use BSR 1 to keep more control, more hands-on to the pattern that I'm trying to follow. Next, let's just go over, and I'll just go back to mode 2, so I'll use the on and off button here, and let's try out a zigzag. Now think of the zigzag as more of a texturing type look. It is going to be like a calligraphy pin, so if you go straight across, your zigzag will form a straight line. If you go straight back or straight forward, you will get more of a satin stitch. Of course, if you go at an angle, you're going to get kind of an angled satin stitch at a slightly reduced angle. So it's not as thick as if you're going north or south. So it does take a little bit, and also too, you probably want to play with your stitch length and see what looks good. Now you can actually adjust it and go all the way up to 5.5 millimeters. So this is really nice if you're working with any art quilts. And I like to find that I use this with, oh that's right, I have to push the button. There we go. You're going to find that texturing with variegated thread is really a good look. But you're finding that as you stitch, and whatever the stitch length is, but you can really fill in an area and have a great look for what you're looking for. Now on a quilt like this, it's probably going to look a little just messy, but in the right project, this will be the texturing that you want. And that's using the zigzag with the BERNINA Stitch Regulator. So have some fun. This does take a little practice, but with the regulation of the stitch length, you have already mastered one part of this, and now you can concentrate on your actual shapes that you're doing on your fabric.